Yo, what's up guys, Kevin here. I was the singing voice of one of the Saja boys, Mystery Saja. So here's a reaction video of me listening to the songs. That was me!
Meet Kevin Woo, the 33-year-old LA-based Korean-American singer, dancer, songwriter, television host, and actor who is the singing voice behind Mystery Saja in the smash Netflix hit K-pop Demon Hunters.
In my arms, I hold you so tight, can't let go, no, not tonight.
It's ironic that he was cast in this role, because amongst all of the singing voices in the movie, Kevin is the least mysterious. He's the only cast member who's actually been a K-pop idol in real life. In addition, he's played a K-pop idol on Broadway and on film. Now, he's a K-pop idol in the biggest animated movie on Netflix, which also just happens to be Netflix's biggest original movie of all time. Kevin has a huge social media presence, and he's been highly visible ever since the movie dropped on Netflix on June 20th.
You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. 'Cause I'm reaching to the fire. Can I get the mic a little higher? Every drop I drink up. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop.
Not sitting with no Saja boy. What's up?
Funny story though, and I haven't shared this anywhere else. I actually auditioned for the voice of Jinu.
He may come across as a super nice guy, but don't let that media training fool you. Behind that charming smile is a ferocity, ambition, and grit that makes him uniquely positioned to take on the global entertainment machine. Kevin was born in Seoul, South Korea, but raised in the San Francisco Bay Area in Northern California. There, he grew up in a world where he felt like he never fully fit in. At home, he spoke Korean and followed family traditions. At school, he was just another kid in a mostly white neighborhood, hiding the smell of Korean food in his lunchbox and wishing he could see someone like him on TV. But while American media gave him no role models, Korean media gave him everything. His parents rented stacks of videotapes of K-dramas and music shows, and Kevin would sit glued to the screen, memorizing lyrics he couldn't even read yet. Those glossy performances of Korean idols felt like a world where he finally belonged. At a young age, Kevin knew he was born to perform. By 13, he was already begging his mom to take him to Seoul, not for a vacation, but for auditions. Most kids that age are worried about homework. Kevin was dreaming about stages halfway across the world, and at 15, he made the leap. He dropped out of school, got a one-way ticket to Seoul, and began chasing a dream that would change his life forever. But what he didn't know then was that this dream would come with a price, and not the one he expected. Landing in Seoul with his mom at just 15, Kevin walked straight into a world that chews kids up and spits them out. He auditioned for labels that barely gave foreigners a chance back then, but his fluent English and clean vocals made him stand out. Within months, he was training, rehearsing, and thrown into his first group, Sing. It was his first contract, so he was just excited to have an opportunity. But even as a teenager, not long after he signed it, he realized just how restrictive the contract was. His contract bound him exclusively to his label for over 10 years, with almost no escape. If he got sick, or injured, or had to miss time for any reason, that missed time would be added to the length of the contract. If Kevin wanted to terminate the contract, he would have to pay the label triple the investment costs and double the profits the company expected to earn. Those penalties would bankrupt his family, so for all practical purposes, there was no way out. He wasn't alone. Around that time, more idols began whispering about unfair deals that left them exhausted, underpaid, and powerless. Few had the courage to fight back, but Kevin did. He quit the group, and at the tender age of 17, he took the label to court, alleging that the terms were excessive and one-sided. In 2010, in a shocking ruling, the judges sided with a teenager. A Seoul court declared his contract invalid, agreeing that the contract was excessively long, and saying that it violated good morals and social order. It was a rare victory in an industry where labels usually win.
I was in a very long contract. I signed 10 years in my first contract. I believe that that wasn't fair. I also was, raised in America. So I wanted to fight for my rights. And I was like, 10 years is way too long. Yeah. So I filed a lawsuit when I was 17. And I won that lawsuit. And ever since then, every K-pop label changed their contract.
Yeah.
Now every contract is 7 years.
In 2008, while his lawsuit was still ongoing, he debuted with U-Kiss, a 6-member boy band that would quickly go global. Their 2009 breakout hit Man Man Honey swept through singing rooms, music shows, and fan clubs from South Korea to Japan. Suddenly, Kevin wasn't just a California kid chasing a dream. He was an international idol, touring countries where fans were screaming his name in languages he didn't understand. In 2014, Kevin began co-hosting a popular interactive music talk show called After School Club, or ASC, along with Eric Nam.
June's first time on a variety show.
And he's so nervous right now.
되게 긴장하신 것 같은데.
긴장하지 마. Don't be nervous.
긴장하지 마시고. 괜찮아요.
The show was filmed in a South Korean studio, but it targeted an international audience, so the host spoke in English. His dual role on the show as both a K-pop idol and as a television host elevated his growing popularity around the world. It should have been perfect. Fame, music, the dream he wanted since childhood. But behind the glossy music videos and screaming crowds, Kevin was already starting to feel the cracks. The world saw U-Kiss as rising stars. But Kevin saw something else, and he didn't like the looks of it. In 2017, Kevin made the decision that stunned fans. He walked away from U-Kiss. Now in his mid-20s and after nearly a decade of fame, endless tours, and loyal fan clubs across the world, he admitted he felt trapped in a cycle that left no room for his own voice. The glossy music videos hid a harsher truth. Creativity was restricted, the schedules were suffocating, and the boy who once dreamed of K-pop was now craving freedom. Leaving wasn't easy. It meant stepping away from his friends, from fans who had grown up with him, and from the security of being part of a major group. For months, Kevin wrestled with sleepless nights, wondering if he was making the biggest mistake of his life. For a few years after leaving U-Kiss, Kevin pursued a solo career in Japan, but a turning point came during the pandemic. Isolated and stuck in his room while the world shut down, Kevin realized he couldn't ignore the itch anymore. He packed his bags and took another leap of faith, moving back to the US to start over. This time to Los Angeles. No idol team behind him, no label protecting him. Just Kevin, chasing a new dream in Hollywood. It was terrifying. In South Korea and Japan, he was a star. In America, he was just another face in the crowd. He was truly alone. But Kevin refused to quit. He started acting classes, built connections, and slowly added to his entertainment toolkit. And then, something unexpected happened. Broadway called. In 2022, he joined the cast of K-Pop, the musical, the first Korean story ever told on a Broadway stage. Opening night wasn't just another performance. For Kevin, it was a historic moment. A packed house, a standing ovation, and an audience filled with faces of every background cheering for a Korean cast. For a kid who grew up in America without Korean role models, that night was overwhelming. On stage, the tears came before he could stop them. There, under the bright lights of Broadway, in front of a standing ovation, Kevin realized that he had become the role model that little Kevin had once dreamed of having. No longer the outsider, he was proof that Korean stories could stand proudly on the world's biggest theater stage.
I still remember just looking at the audience, and we had a standing ovation after the finale. I was crying my eyes out because of how far we've come as Koreans. I'm like kind of tearing up because it was a really touching experience. And to see that we've achieved something so beautiful, yeah, that's a memory that I'll never forget.
Just as Kevin was finding his rhythm in the US, another surprising call came through. Anderson .Paak wanted him for his directorial debut in a movie called K-Pops. For Kevin, it felt surreal. Anderson wasn't just a Grammy-winning musician. He was someone who had built his career from the ground up, and now he was making a film about K-pop, culture, and identity. Kevin was cast as a fresh face trying to break into the K-pop industry, working alongside Anderson himself, and even Anderson's real-life son. Filming K-Pops meant going back into idol mode. Kevin trained daily, rehearsing choreography for hours, reliving the same grind he thought he had left behind in Seoul. Except this time, it was in Hollywood. When K-pop premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival and at the Tribeca Film Festival in 2024, critics praised it as a heartfelt, family-friendly comedy about bridging Black and Korean culture through music. K-Pops is scheduled for theatrical release in January 2026. And just when Kevin thought his career couldn't get any higher, he would soon learn firsthand what it felt like to be at the very top of the charts. Here's a fun fact. Before Kevin became the singing voice for Mystery Saja in K-Pop Demon Hunters, he auditioned to be the speaking voice for Jinu, the male lead.
Funny story though, and I haven't shared this anywhere else. I actually auditioned for the voice of Jinu. Yeah. Oh. So even before Ian, the music producer, reached out to me to record as the vocalist for Saja Boys, this was like, I don't even know how long ago. This is like 3-4 years ago. Wow. This is when I first moved to LA in like 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
I had an audition opportunity for K-Pop Demon Hunters, but as a voiceover. So this is before like they were recording the soundtrack. Wow. So I was like, and I remember auditioning for Jinu. The scene that I auditioned for was when Rumi and Jinu are on top of the Hanok, and then they were like
free?
Before free. So their first encounter. When she was like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah.
The first encounter.
The pants.
The pants, yeah. That whole scene, I like remember that whole scene like line by line because I like memorized it and I had to like do my audition.
That role would eventually be awarded to another talented actor, but all was not in vain. Kevin would ultimately be recruited by executive music producer Ian Eisendrath to be the singing voice for Mystery Saja. When Kevin agreed to voice that part, he thought it would be a fun side project. What he didn't expect was the cultural explosion that followed. The fictional boy band Saja Boys dropped 2 tracks, Soda Pop and Your Idol.
Oh my god, this is so cute. Oh, I love the formations. It's so K-pop. Oh my god, the Ajumma. That was me. I can't believe this. Oh my god, I just got goosebumps. This is so cute. This is getting me like hyping. This song slaps.
And within hours, they were everywhere. TikTok challenges, fan edits, cosplays. The songs weren't just part of a soundtrack, they became a global obsession. For Kevin, the impact was instant. One night, he went to bed with a modest 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. When he woke up, he had 1 million. Within weeks, that number climbed past 10 million. As of this recording, Kevin has over 30 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Still, I have to pinch myself every day. Because when I see my Spotify monthly listeners, before K-Pop Demon Hunters, it was like, anywhere from 10,000 to 15,000, which is like, I didn't really release a lot of music, so it was like in my hiatus era. So I was like, okay, I'm just like still working on my music and everything. But after the movie and the soundtrack released, the next day it was like 1 million.
Wow.
Overnight.
And then came the headline no one thought possible. Your Idol by the Saja Boys became the first song by a K-pop group, fictional or real, to hit #1 on Spotify's daily top songs chart. Fans couldn't believe it. Animated idols were now competing with real idols on the charts and winning. Parents shared stories of their kids watching the movie on repeat, multiple times a day. Cosplayers flooded conventions, dressed as members of Huntrix and Saja boys. For Kevin, the wildest part of his rise wasn't just the charts. It was what it meant for identity. Growing up in California, he never saw Korean faces leading Hollywood films or topping American playlists. Now, Korean kids could point at K-pop demon hunters and say, "That's my culture," without hesitation. Kevin had become the role model he once searched for. Fans call Kevin the blueprint for future idols, someone who can thrive in K-pop, battle injustice, then reinvent himself on the world's stage. And with Hollywood finally opening its doors to Korean talent, people can't stop asking, what's next for Kevin Woo? New music? New movies? No one knows exactly where Kevin will land next. And that's what makes his story so fascinating. Every time it seems like his career has peaked, he surprises everyone with a new chapter. Kevin Woo's journey proves that the path of a K-pop idol is never as simple as it looks. From a California kid with big dreams, to fighting in court for his freedom, to standing ovations on Broadway and topping Spotify as an animated boy band star. His story has been one twist after another. He's battled contracts, culture clashes, and doubts, yet every setback only seemed to sharpen his next comeback. Today, Kevin stands as more than just an ex-idol. He's a pioneer for representation, and a reminder that reinvention is possible at any stage of a career. He's proof that you can honor your roots while rewriting your destiny. And by doing so, he may just inspire a new generation of aspiring artists to reach for the stars